Any question before I start? Any question? No? Right. We will discuss this and complete the chapter 2 first, because you know next week after Deepavali you have a topical summary, right?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yes.
Let me just share with you first in case you don't know. If you look at assessment details, you should know. If you never look at assessment details, obviously you will not know, right? Topical summary 1 will be next week, right? Multiple choice, it will include all the chapter 2, including elasticity this time. Right, including elasticity. Right? How many celebrating Deepavali? For those who celebrating Deepavali, I give you 1 more week. But you have to do topical summary 1 and 2 together. Lor. For those who want to celebrate Deepavali. For those who want to celebrate Deepavali. You also want? Why you have? Yeah, because week 9 is topical summary 2. That one is writing essay for chapter 3. Right? So that one later I brief. Next week I brief. So next week, bring your computer, laptops fully charged at least for half hour. Because this one will be multiple choice, it will be conducted in Elan lockdown browser. Have you used lockdown browser already?
Yes.
Yeah, you should know, right? So remember, bring your computer or tablets. It will be include chapter 2, everything in chapter 2. Except for the, like what I say, those who are celebrating Deepavali, those who are celebrating in Deepavali, like 3 of you, you can PM me if you want to do it 1 week later. But then there's always pros and cons, right? In economics, there's always choices and opportunity costs, right? If you opt to do everything on week 9, you have to do 2 together. Lor. One is multiple choice, then after the multiple choice, then straight away go to the essay writing. Right, essay writing. So it's up to you. Don't complain. Life is not fair, so don't need to complain, right? If you are A-level students, it will be worse because the entire Deepavali will be usually inside the exam period. October and November is the exam period, right? Ours is just a 5% test. It's nothing much, right? Even you don't have the 5%, you can still do very well. You can still score for 45%. So, any question? No? Only those who are celebrating Deepavali, you DM me if you want to postpone it, all right? Those who are not celebrating, you can also say, I'm celebrating also. I'm also celebrating, right. Who knows, maybe my 5th wife is celebrating. So, yeah. Then you DM me, DM me, okay? You, right? You also, yeah. Okay? Okay? So that's why I want to discuss all the answers first, so that at least during the long weekend, for those who are not celebrating, you have more time to study. Okay? Last time we really cover the market, right? I will just brief you on the elasticity for the first hour. Elasticity. Although I already shared with you, have I? No, elasticity not right. Yeah, after today, I'm going to share you with the answer. So first thing, elasticity. Okay, this one. Elasticity. Make sure your drawing is correct, right? For the 5 categories of PD. Is it too? Right? Okay. Make sure all these diagrams are correct. Although I already checked once, but maybe, who knows? Maybe I overlooked, right? This one diagram, then PES diagram, make sure everything is correct. I'll just quickly scroll through, right? Make sure it's like that, something like that, right? For PES. And this one is already drawn here. Just make sure the formula is correct. Right? Formula is correct. YD formula. See whether correct or not your formula. Correct? Cool. Okay, now we go to the answers. Okay, this one, number 9. Right? Have I discussed this? No, you're right. Okay, cool. Question 9 is about why the salt is inelastic. Normally, for this question, they never ask whether it's a PD or PDS question. So you can write both. But then, after you read the question, you will find that PD is easier to write. So you just write PD. You know what I mean? You read the question one more time, right? James, you still look more handsome when wearing mask. Seriously. Faster, right? Cover your face, right? I cover my face not because I'm handsome when I'm covering my face, but because I don't want to let you all recognize me during you know, in the class corridor. But you're different. Y'all are smarter and more handsome and more pretty when you cover your face. So salt is very inelastic. First of all, I always start with definition. You can see definition. Let me just use this tools easier. Definition, right? Lack of responsiveness of percentage change in quantity met to percentage change in price. This is the specific definition. General definition, last time I only used the word responsiveness of one variable to change percentage change in another variable. If I want to talk about inelastic, I just need to add 2 more words. That is why a general definition is more important than a specific one. I just need to use lack of, that's all, to make the general one into a more specific one. Make sense? This is how you define. So if you ask me, what are the definitions of all the stuff? I have no idea. I don't know how to give you the definition, right? Right? I don't memorize my definitions because in economics there are too many. I don't memorize. I just remember certain keywords, then I just write. But you know what's the difference between remember and memorize? What's the difference? What's the difference? Memorize is using your brain. Remember is using your heart. Yeah, seriously, yeah. You always say, I remember you. You never say, I memorize you. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, so few factors. Unfortunately, although I only skim through your answers very fast, many of you ignore this letter. What is this letter? S. I told you how many times I have many wives. I don't have wife. Wife is single, but I have many wives. Right? That's the main purpose. What is this letter? This letter represents what? Plural. Plural means need to write at least 2. How many of you write 1? How many of you only write 1 factor? How many of you don't understand? How many of you only write 1 factor for stock is inelastic? You write 1 or 2? 1 only, you see? 2. How many? 2. 2. Okay. The rest? 2. 1. You see? Like that already, your marks is already, if this is the 10 marks percent, it's already 5 marks gone. Just because you ignore 1 letter. Make sense? In questions, in rigors or multiple choice or whatever, right? Just read the question properly. First thing. Second thing, not every question we will ask you explain 2, explain 3, explain 4. You have to know it's more than 1. You know what I mean? Then you at least write 2 or 3. Make sense? Make sense? Maximum 3, minimum 2. Okay? So that's why I always give more than 1 factor, right? There are few factors that render salt is inelastic. First one, necessity, right? If you write necessity until like I say, human body needs sodium. Wow, full marks really. Or you change the sodium to NaCl. Wow, 100 marks. Seriously, right? Because I know you understand. This is essential, this is need. That's why the thought is inelastic. You know, NaCl is sodium, right? You know, right? Right. Second, few substitute for salt. Right. Lesser substitute, more inelastic. Last, low percentage of income. For example, always give example. Always give example. Right? 1 kilogram of salt is only few ringgits. Right? I don't want to humiliate you because you don't know how many ringgits is 1 kilo of salt. So I just use few ringgits. At least you know how to write few, right? Or you think salt is like 50 ringgit or 100 ringgit. No, right? At least you know, right? It's not that expensive, right? Yeah, few ringgits. So consumers do not usually respond too much. Okay, this is how you write. In terms of short response, or if you want to, I can explain it into essay. The first, the second, the third, I can explain it to one paragraph, one paragraph, one paragraph each. Right? This is how you write. Okay. Question 10. Each of the following stories contains an assumption about elasticity of demand. In A, each decide whether the person's conclusion is right. In B, explain your reasoning. I am political, right? I am political. This candidate for state legislature is proposing a large increase in the tax on cigarettes and liquor. Right, cigarettes and liquor. They say I'm not proposing this tax to raise revenue, but to discourage smokers and drinkers, which is nonsense, right? After all, no one needs to drink or smoke, so if I tax them, they will quit, according to this candidate, right? You know what I mean? The conclusion is wrong. Why? Because even you tax them, they are already addicted. Smoking and drinking is a habit, right? It's a habit. You really get addicted, you don't care about the price changes, right? That's why your government asks all the cigarette companies to put the lung cancer photo in front of cigarettes. That's just a waste of money. Those who smoke don't even care what is the picture. It's just wasting money, right? Wasting time and money, and reducing the profit for cigarettes company, right? I don't get what the point. My us is tax them, tax the cigarettes and get the tax revenue, right? So that's why they are not going to reduce their quantity demanded because they're already used to it, right? I already gave you a lot of different examples. I also give you the shopaholic example. I also give you the gym trainer example, right? All these are habit. Actually, we have a lot, right? I'm just using like few of the habits. You can also include looking at your phone. How many of you look at your phone at least five times per how many minutes? 5 times per 10 minutes. Let's look at your phones 5 times per 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you know? So it becomes the habit. Not that you have something to do with your phone, but just, anyone text me? Oh, someone like my picture or not? Right? Oh, got someone follow me. I have new followers. Right? Just to look then this is your habit. Then suddenly government want to tax you. I don't care, I pay the tax, I want to continue to look at my phone. Something like that. That is also another habit. Make sense? Make sense? Or you have the habit of coming late. You know what I mean? Or you have the habit of leaning on the wall. All these are habit, right? Or you have the habit of sitting using two legs of the chair, right? All these are different habits that we can tax, but even with taxing, we will still do because you're already used to it. You did not notice it become your, man, go deeper a little bit. It became your subconscious. Wow, too deep. Yeah, okay. Second compliment. Big Aqua. I like to call it Aquaman because it's easier. Aquaman opposed the price increase for water during drought. You know what drought? Dry season, right? He claimed that there's no substitute for water. He's right. Yeah, no substitute for water. Why student argue with me before? Still, we have coconut, ma. Then I asked him, coconut don't need water to grow. You think where the coconut get the water from? From sand. Right, exactly right. Right. No substitute for water. If live and reach the price of water will result in same quantity of water. Yeah, he's right. In this case, it will be a perfectly inelastic demand curve because it's during drought some more, during drought. So there's no substitutes. It will lead to perfectly inelastic demand. Citizens will have to consume the same amount of water even though the price increased for water. So they still have to consume the same amount, right? For example, 2 liters per day. 2 liters per day. That is correct. Third one is Sky King. Sky King world travelers say if the airline want to increase total revenue, they should lower the fares for business travelers as well as the vacationers. Both groups should respond equally to the price decrease. Actually, just you see the word equally, you know it should be wrong already, right? Should be wrong. Why wrong? Because we need to have two price for two different types of elasticity. Two price, right? If I have the elastic demand, I have to lower the fares. This one I shared with you during the total revenue, right? For vacationers usually they will have more elastic demand. You know what's vacational? Vacationer, they plan ahead, right? I buy ticket 1 month or one half year ago or 1 year ago. Then I start to plan. I'm very sensitive to price because I do comparison, right? Because they have more time to consume, more time to look for substitutes. So if you lower the price, they don't need to go and look for substitutes. They will straight away buy, right? Make sense? But for the more inelastic one, they have to increase the price, right? For business travelers, they usually have lesser time to consume. Consume and don't have time to look for substitutes, right? I told before also, imagine that the employer factory is burned, right? It's damaged in some other country. Have I told you before? No. Okay, just imagine you're a business owner, then suddenly your staff call from Indonesia like, hey, boss, at 12 a.m., just, boss, your factory got a fire and almost half of the factory is damaged. You want to fly and come and see? Straight away, he got shocked out of breath. Then straight away put the air ticket. Does he have time to go and, let me search for the cheapest air ticket first. Search, oh yo, tomorrow is not auspicious date for me to fly. Let me just choose another date. Do I have time to do that? No. Oh, you know what I mean? So they straight book ask his secretary or her secretary to book the earliest flight as possible to fly to Jakarta, for example. You know what I mean? Straight away flight. Do I have time to go and match the price, compare the price? No. You know what I mean? So this is the business traveler. They are not sensitive to price. Even you ask them to book the business class or the first class, they straight away book. You know what I mean? Because their factory is more important than the air ticket price. They're not sensitive to the price. Make sense? That one is wrong conclusion. No? Next one is this one. Okay, this one mostly don't have problem. Actually, only number 5. Question sub number 5, right? Question 11 sub 5, right? You have some people don't know how to do, but I just go through, right? Recently, publication of principle of economic textbooks increased price and the sales fell. What's the value and explain? So you have to calculate the value and explain, right? Unfortunately, most of you only calculate the value and never explain. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, talking to you. Do you see this question and this question? Or you only see what is, then you start to do it, right? This is your generation, not the problem. Your generation problem. Because you scroll IG, TikTok too fast, or in terms of Chinese, there will be little red book, scroll too fast already, right? You always ignore the other words. I don't know what happened, right? There are 2 questions inside this question, but you only always see 1 question. First thing. Second thing, you only read 2 words of the question. That's all, right? Your attention span is too short already, too short. It's like, it's no longer 1 second, it's like millisecond. Very hard to get your attention, yeah. So try to read the question, entire question, including whether there's plural or singular, right? Make sense? So most of you will get this right. Unfortunately, most of you did not write explanation. How many of you never write explanation? Show hands, right? See? So out of 30, at least like 5, 10, right? 5 to 10, never write. This shows what? They respond very slowly. Percentage is very big. Percentage change in quantity and matter is very small, right? One reason, give reason. Explain means giving reason. They may think that textbook is a need, that's why it's inelastic, right? Another reason, they think there are very less substitutes for a textbook, right? Give reason. That is explanation. Second question, you don't need to explain because they only ask for value. Make sense? Second question, do the calculation. If you do properly, it will be this one, 1.5, and is elastic. Make sense? That question, they ask you to explain again. How many of you again never explain? Just do calculation. Show hands. Yeah. To prove 1 point, right? Regardless, we use calculate and or we use 2 sentences, it's the same. You still never read the second part. You know what I mean? Never read the second part. So calculate PED is equals to 0.625. This shows very slow in price changes, and then the quantity amount of orange is only very small. One reason for this is maybe they think that the 50 pence or 30 pence, which is the currency overseas, is very small proportion of income. So try to change your reason every time you write. Okay. Number 4, this one actually, the PD is equals to 1 to show that you know what is unitary, right? You can, the only thing that you can explain is very rare in the real world because the proportional change in proportion change in the price of good must be the same percentage of the quantity demand. Very rare, very hard to get in the real world. Okay, number 5 is the one that trapped most of you. Number 5 actually, before you do calculation for PED, you have to add back the negative. Although I say we can ignore negative when you write answer, but when you want to do starting from the back, then you derive it until the front, you have to add back the negative. Right, so a lot of you only get, if you do correctly, you get 450,000. That one is also still an inaccurate answer. Okay, by right you get 550,000 if you do properly using the algebra. This one is testing your algebra at the same time testing your PD knowledge, right? Any question on number 5? Do I need to show you? Don't you right? Very sure the answers there. Okay, make sure you add the negative here. A lot of students, they just ignore the negative because I say absolute value, you can take absolute value. But when you do calculation, you have to add back the negative. Make sense? Right? Oh, Kelvin is. Hey, the Dylan over already. Overtime, right, Dylan? Dylan overtime. Have to mark lesson already. Emil Deepavali, Emil. Why Emil also celebrate one? Emil married huh? Married wife already, Emil. Patana not here, Trish. What? Oh, Patana. Patana, right? Patana. Okay, Patana is here. Cool. Okay, let's continue. Any question on the discussion so far? Any question? No? You know, can you have a rough guess on what I want? Do you get a rough guess of what I want or what you should write? Yes, huh? Yes, sir. Actually, the question is not easy. Not hard. Not easy. Yeah, maybe not easy. Not hard, but the hardest part nowadays is you all never read your question. That's all. You see the word calculate, you straight calculate. You see the word write, then you straight write something that is not included or is not necessary. Okay. This one I never assign any, so I never also do the answers. Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of time. This one we can talk a little bit because I also did not include the answers. Right, but this one basically is quite simple. I lost my colors. I asked you to do this also, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of the group 3, right? Oh no, then suddenly he appeared. Ah, yeah, this guy playing hide and seek with me, and he's expressing his temper. Right? Group 3. Should I put in chapter 3 or chapter 4, the whiteboard? I still put in chapter 2 first. Later I put in chapter 3 the rest. Okay? Today is what lecture? What lecture are we? 32 what? 22 or 32? Or 22? Okay, 22. So if you look at this question, suppliers expect 4 to 20% increase in fertilizer price. It will affect what? It will affect the cost of production, right? Which means this is the oil palm product. Make sense? So when it's oil palm, then fertilizer. So fertilizer is a what to oil palm or palm oil? It's a cost of production. It's not complementary. I told you before, what's the difference between cost and complementary? Complements. What's the difference? Cost is used to produce the good, so it's cost production. Complements is serve together. Do you serve fertilizer and palm oil together? No, right? You know what I mean? Right? Cooking oil is to fry the French fries, but we don't serve the cooking oil together with the French fries. Is it for dip? For you to dip the sauce? No, right? You know what I mean? Cooking oil is the cost of production. So this is a supply content because it's a cost production. Make sense? Anyone drink cooking oil together? Then you can argue with me. Yeah, yeah, right. Same thing. We use fertilizer to grow the palm oil, but we sell the palm oil. We don't sell the fertilizer together. You know what I mean? Right? Because of that, this is a cost of production. This is not a complement. Make sense? Anyone don't get that idea of cost and complement? All get you'll say on it's okay. Time will tell. Okay? Whether you get it or not very fast, right? I almost finished marking your paper already. Huh? GG. Wow, y'all I don't know whether it's talented or what. Y'all put all the right answer in the wrong column. Right answer in the wrong column. I don't know what to say. Let's see. Why you put the right answer on the wrong column? Don't know what to say. Okay. Like that lost 6 marks. What? Why? Right? So this one is pretty simple. Right? Yeah. If you want your paper, depends on whether I celebrate Deepavali or not. Right? Maybe I will give you next week if I don't celebrate. If I celebrate, then maybe I have to wait half more week. Not 1 more week, half more week. So demand supply, this one is P, this one is Q. Paper record, yeah. So this one you put oil palm or palm oil, right? Then you have to put supply. This one supply decrease. So you have to show me also the, or some of you when you draw market also you never put the PE and QE. So I never give you marks on that. You have to put the PE, QE, then the new supply. Also you have to show me the new PE and new QE. Right? Like that it will be complete. So then only you show me the rest of the effects. When supply decrease, what happened? This is the cost of production, this is a supply. It will affect the supply curve. Supply shifts to the left. Equivalent price goes up. Equivalent quantity goes down. Right? Then in here, because it's a 6 months, you have to give definition. Definition, I will give the supply definition or market definition. Right? Or if you are good enough, you can also give example. Give example. Right, that's the difference between the A+ student and A students. Right, told before. I always assume there are only 2 types of students in my world, A+ and A. But that's just assumption. In the real world, it never happened. Same for economics. Everything assumptions in the real is different. So discuss the effects. Because it's a discussion question, actually you not only can talk about the just the diagram effects, you can also talk about the indirect effect. You can also talk about the positive effects. Right? Don't think that when cost of production increase, it must be a negative stuff. Can also be positive effects. Negative effect, you should know how to write. Let me just discuss a little bit on positive effects. What are the positive effects? If the cost of fertilizer increase, right? This will encourage them to innovate. It will improve technology. Why? Because when costs increase, they will have to find out new ways to decrease their cost. Make sense? Maybe they come up with a more genetically modified palm oil that don't need so much fertilizer, but can still grow the same amount of crops. Still can harvest the same amount of fruits for palm oil kernel. You know what I mean? Maybe they come up with a more advanced technology of spraying pesticides so that they don't need to use so much fertilizer. Done? So can you do the next one? Tomorrow morning. You have how many more? 2. 1 more. 2 more. Do tomorrow morning together. Sure. Okay. 8:30 have class. 8:30 have class. I have class.
Okay, yeah, so 7:30.
I wait for you.
Foundation of research.
Huh?
Foundation of research.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you are welcome. You say happy Deepavali.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is your role model. This one, role model. This one, skip most of my class and want to do all the tests in one go. Okay, anyone want to try doing that? Yeah. The negative effect is I'm going to bar him. Yeah, so you still want to try, right?
So,
Hmm?
how many marks are allocated for diagram?
For diagram, usually 2 marks. If you go to chapter 4, 5, it will be 3 marks because it will be more complicated. Depends on what diagram you get, right? Chapter, wait until you go chapter 4. You will like it. Yeah. Currently, you only see what? 2 curves in one diagram, right? Wait until you see 3 in one and 7 in one. Which you, right? You will like it. That one is worth 3 marks. You know what I mean? 7 in 1. Yeah, wait until chapter 4. Wait, don't worry. We will eventually reach there. Eventually. Okay. So you can also talk about the innovation. It will encourage them to do innovative stuff. Right. This can be the positive effects. Scared already, right? Too late to withdraw. Too bad. Wait for next time. Wait for next time means see you again. No, I don't want. Right? Positive effects. So it will force them to be more innovative, right? Force them to become more innovative, or they will try to consume the substitutes of other fertilizer, right? Something like that. So this can be a positive also. Negative, you can write yourself due to I don't have the luxury of time, right? Now you can speak freely. Just now I'm afraid that I will disturb him while doing his first one. First one, until now I don't know. You know when is his final exam? 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks.
Okay? Next week. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Okay. So next one is this one. This one, a lot of you ask me, they say don't know how to do, right? Because we added this price mechanism inside. Actually, it's almost the same thing. Price mechanism, like what I say, is just a demand or supply, right? If this is a chicken price issue, they say the agriculture minister say people cannot hope for the government. Yeah, I also agree.
Yeah.
We cannot hope for government seriously to protect their interests, right? Example, when the price of goods are concerned, the government cannot control. Nonsense, right? Allow it to fix the selling price. Last time Ismail Sabri used to be agriculture minister. Now he's how can an agriculture minister that don't know economics become prime minister? Until now, I still don't understand, right? So he said traders will be forced to give in the consumers' demand to reduce the price if consumers were united, right? So yeah, so you have to follow what he said, because have to follow, because economists we have to somehow give way to politicians sometimes. So discuss. This is a discussion question. That's why it's a 15 marks. However, good news for you is 15 marks don't really exist in our final exam anymore. We break it down because we found that you all cannot write too much. Yeah. Do you agree? Do you agree? Or you feel this is humiliation? How many of you this is humiliation? Well, none of us, seriously. She said, no, sir, I can do it. You just give me 15 marks question, I prove it to you. No such thing. So the definition of price mechanism or demand, we have to discuss the market system first, because it's talking about consumer sovereignty. You know what sovereignty? No, sovereignty, it means king, royal. Consumer is the king. Consumer decide the price, right? That one is, you have to link it to market system. This is a combination of chapter 1, 2, and 3. Case study. 1, 2, 3 together in one question. That's why it's 15 marks, right? Chapter 1, 2, 3. Yeah, very hard, right? Discuss demand if united. If they are united, then what will happen to the chicken? If not united, means that they don't have a strike, you know? They don't care about the chicken price, they still buy, then it means that they are not united. Then discuss price selling, why efficient and not efficient. First one, definition. Demand is the W&A, I always remember is W&A, willingness and ability of consumers to purchase good given period of time, right? Must want what, as well as having the purchasing power to buy. Price mechanism is where this one determine force of demand. This one you don't need really, because we don't share with you price mechanism anymore. You don't need this definition, right? Discuss the pros and cons, because it's a discussion question. If you already watch my guide on how to write essay, you should know what's discussed. Discuss is a debate, so must have pros and cons. It's also pros and cons, either agree, disagree, either merit, demerits, either positive, negative effects, right? Depends on what type of question. So first thing, free market system, price serve as signal. If price rise indicate is popular. This one I mentioned before. Price falls means that it's not popular, not preferred by citizens. This one I mentioned before, right? They follow the invisible hand. This one I never mentioned, but economic students must know what's invisible hand theory. It's developed by Adam Smith. Adam Smith is the godfather of economics. Godfather. Yeah, if you are wondering why you are sitting here, have to listen to me, it's all his fault. Adam Smith. Yeah, You can go to UK and find him. You can find his grave, basically, right? So pursue personal interest and this one are just intro. So powerful too. Why? Because when they are united, right? When consumers are united, they can straight away say, we all don't want to buy chicken. Then chicken price will fall. Equivalent price will fall. Make sense? So consumers actually have the power, right? If they all of them they don't care, they still buy chicken, then the price will still continue to rise. That's the meaning of this ex-minister and current prime minister, right? Okay. In the free market system, you have to tell price serve as a signal, inform, this one done already, price mechanism, this one done, right? There's always disadvantage, which is market failure like demerit goods, negative externalities, right? This one I also share with you in chapter 3 already, demerit goods. Right? You have to just combine 1, 2, and 3 together. On the other hand, they propose to use their own power. What is their own power? Like what I said just now, if you are united, you can influence the price of chicken. If you are not united, then you will lead to here below I haven't said, right? So if you are united, you can lead to demand decrease. So this is the diagram that you need to draw, right? Demand decrease leading to equivalent price goes down and equivalent quantity goes down, right? And you must also talk a little bit on, since chicken is considered a normal good and consumers might have lesser income, so the demand will decrease. Linked to one factor, same thing, right? Why chicken is a normal good? Because we have inferior good for chicken. What's the inferior good for chicken? All of you mostly Malaysian, right? Except for you. Old chicken is inferior good. Old chicken, right? Old chicken, right? Those who drink soup, then you know what's old chicken. Those who don't drink soup, chances are you never eat old chicken. The meat is very tough, very hard to buy. You know old chicken? Old chicken means old chicken. Means the chicken, they keep on lay eggs because the farm use them to lay eggs. After lay until already, then what to do? Kill them, kill them, then become old chicken. They don't throw away the chicken. You know what I mean? That one's inferior good, right? You know what I mean? You don't know old chicken. You know old chicken? Maybe some of your parents buy old chicken to boil soup. No, don't know. Don't know. Seriously? Oh, you all use fresh chicken to boil soup. Wow. All right. I can only afford to buy the chicken bone. You buy the entire chicken. Wow, you're so blessed. Blessed that you have the family you have right now, right? So this will lead to demand shift to the left. Equivalent price. This is similar thing, right? PE drop, QE drop. But I don't like always to use the same word increase, decrease. So I will use drop. I will use diminish, right? I will use different words to represent the same stuff. This is also a training for paraphrasing. Yeah, you have to try to use different stuff, different words for different stuff, right? One downside, always there's a downside. If they are not united enough, they will not have a strong effect against the chicken market, right? Price ceiling, then talk about price ceiling. Price ceiling is a regulation, maximum price. This one is something maybe you're going to see later. In the second hour, I'll share with you what is price ceiling. But you already did the chapter 3, right?
Yeah.
Have you done?
Yeah.
So why? Jinping, why? What is blocking your mind? Why? What is stopping you from advancing your study? What? Why? Please don't tell me I forgot or I don't know, right? Okay? Maximum price is usually used for necessity like chicken. Everything linked back to chicken. Make sense? Right? Yeah, because it's a chicken case study. What else you expect? Don't tell me you want to put what business model inside there. You want to put what 4P, right? As a result, individuals enjoy buying cheaper chicken. It looks feasible to impose a price ceiling. There are downsides, like I say, discuss weakness, shortage, another weakness, inefficiency. They have to spend resources. This one later I share with you, right? These are floors. This is the maximum price. All right, all these are price ceiling. Price ceiling later I share with you lah. Right, next, the last case study before we move on to chapter 3 later after break is about the relationship between AirAsia and Malindo Airline. Right, how this price war affect both producers and consumers. You should thank God. If you are born 10 years earlier, then this will be your exam paper. Luckily, you are born 10 years later, right? So when AirAsia Berhad was established in 1993, blah, 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 blah. I don't have time to read that. Basically, you have to talk about substitutes because it's AirAsia and Malindo Air, right? Diagrams, 4 marks, explain price decrease for AirAsia. What happened to demand of Malindo, 4 marks, right? Supply increase because of the number of suppliers increase, equilibrium price and quantity, then how it will affect producers, link it to elasticity, another one, how it affect consumers, link it to number of suppliers, right? Same thing, definition, because they are homogeneous. Oh, yo, to the service offered by Malindo Airline. You see, use different stuff. Don't use substitutes, right? It looks like your essay is just another substitute, right? First, in the perspective of, yeah, exactly right. Imagine I'm marking average on average 500 to 600 scripts per year, all substitutes. I say. First, in the perspective of firms, you see, I still you know this is a supply question. I use perspective of firms. Supply question, right? Both airlines use same resources to produce. That's why they are substitutes, right? Then what are the resources? I will not only just say they use the same resources, but this is what your generation typically will write, just same resource because the textbook say like that. You also can link it to the airline itself. What's the resources the airline use? Pilots, flight attendants, customer service staff, luggage checking staff. You know what I mean? These are the resources they use, the same resources they use for both airlines, right? Observe that they are competing, right? They are all budget airlines, as can be seen from diagram 1A, when there's increase in supply. So diagram 1 is this one as transportation, supply will shift to the right, right? Drop. And why I also have supply decrease? Because this is also, if I'm not mistaken, is also what's the question? Hey, where's the question? Or how, right? How also means that you have to discuss, right? Second, notice that the price decrease greatly impact the producers. Why? Because it's getting cheaper, they earn less revenue, they have to do more promotion, right? So the airline actually, they know that there are more substitutes, they're more elastic. So what they tend to do, if you know that your airline service is actually a substitute, more elastic, you have to reduce or increase price. To reduce price to increase revenue. Right, you have to reduce price. So they reduce the price. So that's why they just started to have this. Last time used to have this 0 airfare, 1 ringgit airfare, and so on. Because now they have competitors, right? To attract customers. So diagram 1B talk about Malindo Airline go and pinch the staff from Asia. Right? You know what is pinch the staff? Don't know. Let me pinch you, then you know it. Right? Means that they go and find a headhunter or something. Headhunter go and ask AirAsia Airline, hey, you want to work for Malindo? I give you more salary, something like that, right? So they take the staff, so there will be lack of labor resource. They have to no choice but offer high salary, right? All this off. Now we talk about supply shift left, same thing only opposite, right? Price war will bring benefit to consumers. Why? More choices. More choices means higher standard of living. Wow. Better lifestyle. Wow. Enjoy more flight service at lower price. Wow. Right? Save more money. And I don't have the luxury of time to write about the another side. So I just end with in summary. right? By right, if you have time, you should also write about this side here. You can also write about why is it not a good thing, right? Okay, that's all for that case study. Let me end the recording. Any question? No? Okay.